Hello, high achiever. How are you doing? How was your weekend? What did you do that you were not supposed to do? And what didn't you do that you were supposed to do? This is a fresh week and it's an opportunity to improve on all the things that you were supposed to do last week. I am Uche Tiaba, and it's always such a pleasure to welcome you to a brand new week. Are you ready? You know I love to tell stories, right? So something happened last week and it got me thinking. It actually reminded me afresh of something that happened to me a long time ago. A friend of mine was talking to me and she said, oh, thank God with me, my son went off with a stranger. A stranger talked to my son, by a junction. And before we knew what was happening, my son went with him. And somehow, in the course of everything, my son came back. We're really grateful to God that there was no harm, no hurt. And it got me thinking. I remembered when something like that happened to me. Yes, it happened to me. Now, before I tell you this story, you have to promise me that this should not get to the ears of my mother, okay? Because she has no clue something like that happened to me, her daughter. But it happened. So, way back in school, I had just entered university. That was my first year. I had this very good friend of mine. We related so well, okay? Yeah, the families know themselves, but they lived in Lagos while I lived in Port Harcourt. So when we had the break in school, I decided to go with her to Lagos, just to spend a few weeks. And one of the days I wanted to visit a cousin, so I got to a particular bus stop. And while I was waiting for the bus, a young man meets me and says, oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to so-and-so. Look at me, I don't live in Lagos, okay? But they were asking me for directions. And I said, no, I don't know where you're going. And he starts to tell me, I'm a sailor. I come from so-so. He starts to use this funny accent. I come from so-so place. And my ship, what happened to his ship? What did not happen to his ship? And now he's a bit stranded, but that he needs to get to somewhere to do what, So many things he said to me that it was morning, actually. It was in the morning. And for the life of me, for some reason, I followed him because he said, please, I need you to just follow me to get to so-so place. Believe me, I followed this guy. I got to the place. We went on the bus. I got to the place. An abandoned building, uncompleted building. There were, I think, 2 other men there, And right in front of me, they started discussing something about a container that had papers, and they needed chemical to wash the papers. So when you wash the paper, it becomes currency. And right as I was sitting there, one of them brings out this chemical, puts it in water, puts some of the papers into the water, rinses, brings it out, and it's a 15 naira note. Now, imagine 15 naira note way back. And they're trying to explain to me that they've already told them that all these pieces of paper in this drum is actually a lot of money. All they need is money to buy the chemical that they would use to wash out the papers that will turn to money. And Uche Ebuna at the time was sitting down and wondering, what are these people talking about? So when I saw the way the discussions were going, I told the person I came with, I said, I'm not interested. I want to go. And he looks at me very strangely, like, how? Are you not interested in making money? And I'm looking at him. I'm like, no, I want to go. I'm not interested in this, your business. And he's trying to persuade me. He's talking, And I stand up and say, I'm going. So I start to walk out of the place. He follows me. He changes strategy. And what does he start to say to me? He says, see, sister, don't leave me here. I don't know who these people are. I'm a stranger in this country. I come from, he called it an African country. And if you leave me here, I don't know what these people will do to me. So please, if you can just stay and just help me. In short, let me go with you. Let me go with you. I don't want to stay with these people. And this young man escorted me into a bus that took me back to where I actually met him. And I continue on my way to my cousin's place. When I get to my cousin's place, they look at me and say, Uche, God really loves you. What if you were raped? What if these people decided to harm you? And you went there boldly little girl that you are, you went there. That's when it dawned on me that these were fraudsters looking for victims to extort. Why am I telling you this story? Because it reminded me afresh that the values that I had as a child, the values that my parents instilled in me as a child, came to play when I encountered that situation. What do I mean? If I was brought up in a home where money was everything, money was king, money was, dictating everything, maybe I would have been greedy. Maybe I would have wanted actually to get some of the money that they were talking about. And then that's when they would have started sending me to an uncle, to an aunt, to get money for them, But I'm saying this to emphasize again the place of family values. If you're a parent out there and you're a custodian of children, you have wards under your care, teach them the right values. Money is not everything. Yes, the Bible tells us money answereth all things, but money is not everything. There is such a thing as hard work. One of the values that was instilled in me as a child was hard work. You don't take something, just because you have access to it. You work hard, So I'm just thankful to God that that value in particular was placed in me, and it helped me in my time of need. Though I didn't realize it was a time of need, because the values were now part of me. So I didn't even think twice about saying no to what looked like, hey, come, a lot of money for you, up for grabs. I didn't fall for it. So today I'm telling us to re-examine our personal value system. It's important. It is your values that determine your choices in life. Okay? So if something like this has happened to you, or you know somebody else who something like this has happened to, and the person came out unhurt, I rejoice with you. I celebrate with you. Use the comment section and let me know your own story. Okay? And don't forget, I'm always here as your coach, your trainer, and your guide in your success journey. Until I come again with another beautiful content, I will just say, keep learning, keep growing, keep being intentional to your success.